Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm coming to you with my very first book haul of the year. This is definitely a collective haul because I've been accumulating these books for several months. Some of them are from my birthday, some of them I've just bought very recently, but because we have a lot of books to get through, I just want to jump right in. So this video is being made in paid promotion with Disney Publishing to promote the release of The Bells by Dhonielle Clayton. This book just came out on February 6th, and it is the first book in a new duology. It takes place in this world where beauty is the most sought after commodity. We follow around our main character named Camellia, who is what is known as a belle, and bells have the ability to transform people and make them beautiful, but she doesn't want to be like every other belle. She wants to be the best belle, and she wants to be able to work in the royal palace. But once she gets to the palace, she realizes that it is kind of full of dark secrets, and it's not everything that she had always thought it would be, and that leads to uncovering a great mystery and a lot of other problems within their world. So the synopsis of this book sounds absolutely fantastic. It sounds like it's going to be a really, really fun and interesting story. To me, it sounds a bit like a mix of The Giver and the Uglies series, which I really love both of those, so if this is anything like that, I think I'm really gonna like this one too. Dhonielle Clayton is also the COO of We Need Diverse Books, if you follow them on Twitter or if you've seen them around the internet, which is an incredible organization, and I love what they do. So getting to read a book by an author who so adamantly supports diversity in literature makes me very, very happy. So again, I can't wait to read this one, and I'm really, really hoping to enjoy it. So moving on to the rest of the books, like I said, I have books from basically all over the place, and first I'm going to start off with the books that I got from Book Outlet recently. If you didn't know, I'm a Book Outlet vlogger friend, which basically means that I have a page on their website that shows you all of the books I've ever ordered from them, and I get to work with them, and they provide me with a gift card to order some books, and then I show them to you guys in my hauls, and I recently placed 2 orders from them. I say recently, I placed one recent order, the other one is from like 2 months ago, I think, but I just never got to haul the books, so I'm just combining them all in this one video to show them to you now. I'll start off with the ones that I ordered from a while back. First, I have Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. This book follows the story of these 3 sisters who are all competing for the throne, and that's all I really know about this story, and that's kind of all I really want to know because it sounds really fun and really, really intense and amazing, which is what a lot of people have said in their reviews. I've mentioned this before, but I'm not exactly sure if this is actually a retelling or like reimagining in any sort of way based off of King Lear, but it sounds a little bit like it's based off of that, just from the 3 sisters competing for the throne thing, which is what happens in that story. So it just sounds like something I'm really gonna enjoy. I've really just been into reading a lot of fantasy series recently, especially YA fantasy, and I feel like this is gonna be one that I'm gonna pick up fairly soon just because I've been loving so many other series right now, but hopefully I end up enjoying this one too. The next 3 books I have are all part of the same trilogy, and that is the School for Good and Evil trilogy. I don't really know much about this series. All I really know is that it's middle grade, and then it follows the story of these 2 girls, I believe, who go to this school for good and evil, and one goes to the school for good and one goes to the school for evil. But as you all know, I really like to go into series and most books without knowing too much about them just because I like to be surprised, and I've just heard really good things about this series. I also just haven't read much middle grade recently, and I really love middle grade, so I think that this will be a good series to pick up whenever I feel like reading some more middle grade. The next book that I got from Book Outlet is The Fate of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This is the 3rd book in the Queen of the Tearling series. I actually recently read The Queen of the Tearling, the very first book, and I didn't like it, which makes me very, very sad. But yeah, I'd ordered this one before I'd read that book, which means I own the entire series, but I don't think I'm going to be continuing with the series unless someone tells me that it just gets infinitely better. I actually DNF'd the first book. I read at least like 75 to 80% of it, but then I just couldn't do it anymore because I just didn't like it, which is so unlike me because I never DNF books. But I DNF'd my very first book, and it makes me sad because I was really expecting to love it. But yeah, now I just have this book, and it has a beautiful cover and a gorgeous spine, and they look amazing on my bookshelf, but I'm sad because I didn't like the first book, so now I have no incentive to keep reading. And the last 2 books I got from Book Outlet are the ones that I ordered more recently, and those are Truth Witch and Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. I have actually already read Truth Witch. I read it last week and I really, really loved it, so I know I'm going to be picking up Wind Witch like almost immediately. I actually ordered these books because I recently met Susan Dennard at the Zenith signing that I got to moderate. I actually have a vlog for it up already if you want to go and watch it. I'll leave that linked on the screen. But I got to meet Susan, and she was just so sweet and super intelligent, and I just love the way that she talked about writing and her books, and it made me so excited to pick up Truth Witch and give it a try. She also said that like the elemental magic and part of the world was kind of inspired by her love of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and as you all know, that's like my favorite thing in the entire world, so if anyone compares anything to Avatar, I have to give it a try, and I'm really happy that I did because it was so good. I have so much respect for Susan. She's an amazing person and an amazing author. And like I said, I really enjoyed Truth Witch, and I cannot wait to pick up Wind Witch. I know that this is going to become like a favorite series of all time. So moving right along, the next books that I have here are all books that were given to me by friends or family for my birthday. So if you didn't know, my birthday was in December 24th, and I turned 21, and it was very exciting and fun, but I never did like a birthday book haul because I didn't get too many books for my birthday this year, and I just never got to haul them, so I'm hauling them now. The first book that I have here was given to me by my wonderful friend Zoe from Read by Zoe, and she gave me Persepolis Volume 2, which is honestly so exciting because I want to read this immediately. I did a 24-hour readathon vlog a couple of weeks ago, and I read Persepolis and I absolutely loved it, but I didn't own part 2 of the graphic novel, and she got it for me for my birthday. So thank you so much to Zoe for sending this to me. I am so excited to read it with you because you read Persepolis right after I did too, and now we can read part 2 together, so I'm very, very excited about that. But not only did she send me a book, she also sent me this gorgeous bookmark that has these really pretty flowers on it, as well as a tassel. Like, I love tasseled bookmarks because they just look really fancy. And she also sent me a giant bag of Reese's Cups, because Reese's Cups are my favorite candy. If you didn't know, it's like the only thing I would eat as candy if I could. And she sent me a giant bag of them, and I'm literally so happy about this. I will just devour these. So thank you so much to Zoe for the incredible gift. I love it so much, and I love you a lot, and I'm very, very thankful and happy, so thank you. The next book I got as a birthday present was given to me by one of my wonderful friends as well, and that is Leia, Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray. This is basically like a Star Wars novelization of these stories about Princess Leia. I don't really know exactly what it's about. All I know is that it's Star Wars and it's about Princess Leia. I don't need to know anything else. I love Princess Leia, I love Star Wars, and I'm really excited to read this. So thank you so much to my wonderful friend David for giving this to me. I cannot wait to read it. The next birthday present that I have here was given to me by Bran from Brandon the Book Addict, and I've actually filmed like my reaction to getting this because I was vlogging the day that Bran gave this to me and we were hanging out. So yeah, I have my vlogged like reaction to this, but it's a very, very exciting gift, and I'm still amazed that I'm holding it. And that is the UK edition of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. And this edition is out of print, and I have been looking for it everywhere ever since I finished Ember in the Ashes and fell in love with this book. And Bran found it, and he got me a copy, and I am in tears because it is so beautiful. It has a gold spine and this beautiful artwork on the cover, and then when you take off the dust jacket, it's also gold underneath. Like, it's just such a pretty book. But yeah, I will just treasure this forever. It is so special to me, and just thank you so, so much to Bran. You know how grateful I am and how much I love this. So thank you so much. I love you so dearly, and I love this as well. And lastly, I have 2 more books that were given to me as birthday presents, this time by my sister, and these are both special editions of books that I already own, but I needed them because they're just so pretty and I can't pass up on them. The first one, of course, had to be the collector's edition of A Darker Shade of Magic. This beautiful, beautiful edition in black, and then when you take the dust jacket off, there's fan art inside, which is gorgeous, and then we have this beautiful bear cover. Like, it's just so pretty. It has its own ribbon bookmark. I'm just in awe of this. If you've seen my bookshelf tour, you know that this one just like faces out on my bookshelves because I just love the cover so much, and it's just so beautiful and I love it so much. So thank you so much to my sister for giving this to me. And lastly, the other book my sister got me was the 10th anniversary edition of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This one you've probably seen all over the internet because everyone got this edition basically if they like the Mortal Instruments series, because it's just too pretty to pass up, genuinely. I didn't think I was going to get it because I already own 2 copies of City of Bones and I don't need a 3rd one, but this one is just so pretty I just couldn't say no. It has gold pages and it has gorgeous fan art inside, as well as like in the text itself there are like character drawings as well, and they're just so gorgeous. Like, I need to reread this book with this edition just so I can look through it all, and yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I don't have words. The next book that I have here is an ARC that was sent to me in this really, really pretty box, and I actually already know what this one is because I've seen other people unboxing this and I didn't know I was getting it, but then when I saw it in the mail I got super excited because I've been dying to read this book. And that book is The Wicked Deep by Shia Earnshaw. Earnshaw, and can we just talk about this cover because it's gorgeous. It's holographic and the artwork is beautiful. I love the text, I love the colors, I love everything about this cover. This is everything I like in a book cover. This book follows the story of these three sisters who were sentenced to death for witchery and were drowned, and now their ghosts come back and haunt the city that they were drowned in. I don't actually know if they're ghosts per se, but basically their spirits in some form or another come back and haunt this town, and they lure boys into the water and like drown them as well, so kind of like siren-esque. So this book sounds like it's kind of inspired by the Salem witch trials a little bit, with the drowning people for witchery, and then also the element of them luring boys into the water and drowning them is very much like sirens, and I love both of those things, like witches and sirens. That just sounds so perfect, and this book sounds so incredible. So thank you so much to Simon & Schuster for sending this to me because I can't wait to start reading it. The next graphic novel I have here is one that I bought recently because it came out and I needed to read it immediately, and that of course is Saga Volume 8 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I have already read this one. I absolutely loved it. It's so fantastic, and as you all know, I adore the Saga series. It's a comic series that's basically set in this sci-fi world where there are planets that are at war with one another, and there's romance, there's drama, there's so much action, so much great representation. It's a fantastic series. If you haven't given it a try, I highly recommend that you do. The next book I have here is one that I found at Half Price Books recently, and it's another one that I've actually already read, and that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This book has been getting so much hype, like non-stop hype and buzz, and like I said, I've already read it. I read it during my 24-hour readathon that I did a little while ago, and I don't love it as much as everyone else does, which makes me really sad because I wanted to love it a lot. I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up, but basically this book follows the story of this girl named Jude who was kidnapped when she was a child and brought into the fairy world, even though she's human, and because of that she's always actually kind of wanted to be a part of the fairy world because she's felt like such an outsider. And yeah, like I said, I've read it. I didn't personally love it as much as everyone else did, but I definitely can understand why so many people are loving it so much. The next book I have here is another one that I got at Half Price Books, and that is A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. If you didn't know, I have recently read the entire Diviners series, or all the books that are currently out at least, and fell completely in love with them. And ever since then, I've been wanting to read more of Libba Bray's books because I love her writing, so I decided to get a copy of A Great and Terrible Beauty because this is also a series that a lot of people have recommended to me. I genuinely don't know what it's about other than the fact that it's historical fiction mixed in with like paranormal aspects as well, and that just sounds like something I'm really going to enjoy because that's pretty much what the Diviners is, so I'm hoping that this one also lives up to the amount of love that I have for the Diviners series. The next book I have here is one that came out last year and it's just been getting non-stop hype and love, and that is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I've been wanting to read this book ever since it came out because so many people have been loving it so much. I have so many friends who adored this book, and I genuinely don't know anything about it. Don't want to know anything about it. I just want to go into it and experience the story for myself, but I want to know what all the hype is about because so many people seem to love this one. I've never read a Celeste Ng book before, and I've been wanting to read Everything I Never Told You for a long time, but I have this one now and I don't own that one, so I think I'm probably going to start with this one first, and hopefully if I really enjoy it, I'll pick her other books up as well. And lastly, we're on to the last three books that I have in this book haul, and they're all new releases that I picked up recently because, like I said, I've just been dying to read these books. And the first one is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This book was on my list of most anticipated releases of 2018, and I am so happy to finally have a copy because first of all, look at it. It's so beautiful. This is genuinely one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. But if you don't know, this book basically follows the story of this girl whose grandmother is the author of these fairy tales, and then one day her mother goes missing, and it seems like she has actually been kidnapped by one of the creatures in her grandmother's stories. That's all I really know. That's all I really need to know because that sounds really epic and amazing. It's been getting fantastic buzz as well. It recently hit the New York Times bestsellers list, and I'm just really excited to read this book because I love fantasy, as you all know, and anything magical, and this one sounds like it'll be right up my alley. The next book I have to show you guys is kind of a different read for me. It's not something I usually read, but I've just been hearing great things about this book, and that is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a YA thriller, and like I said, I don't really read thrillers, YA or adult, And yeah, I've just been hearing good things about this one and I kind of want to try it out. I was also with Bran when he got a copy of this book and we were both talking about it, and he loves thrillers and I've been wanting to try and get into more thrillers. So I thought that starting off with one that's been getting a lot of great buzz recently would be a good place to start. I genuinely don't know anything about the actual summary of this, but having it be a thriller and something that's supposed to be suspenseful and surprising and mysterious, I don't want to know anything about the summary. But yeah, I'm excited to give this one a try and hopefully I really like it, and then it'll motivate me to pick up some more thrillers. And the very last book I have to show you guys in this haul is another one that I've actually already read, and that is Down and Across by Arvin Ahmedi. So the reason I picked this book up is because it is a own voices novel about an Iranian American boy who basically runs away from home because he doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life, and he's kind of being pressured by his family and his parents to figure all of that out, and he feels like he has no direction. So he ends up running away to kind of figure out what he wants to do with his life and find some of that direction. And it's a fantastic book. Like I said, I've already read it and I really enjoyed it. This is the first book I have ever read with an Iranian American main character, and being Iranian American myself, it's really amazing to finally get to see that in a YA novel, and I will definitely talk more about it in my wrap-up as well as a review that I'm going to be doing for this book, so I don't want to say too much here, but I really enjoyed this book. It was so fantastic to get to read. It was such a heartwarming story, and it was very unique and very different from what I've seen in a lot of YA contemporary, and I just really enjoyed myself while reading it, so I'd highly recommend giving this one a try if you haven't picked it up yet. Alright guys, so that is it for my extremely huge first book haul of the year. I kind of went overboard on buying some books these past couple of months, but there have just been so many good releases and I feel like I just need them, and I've already started reading a lot of the books in this haul anyway, so I don't feel too guilty about it. I'll make sure to leave a list of all of the books that I mentioned in this video in the description box if you would like to check any of them out, as well as all of the information and the links to The Bells if you want to check that book out as well. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any books that I mentioned in this video that you're really anticipating reading, or if there are any that you've already read that you think I should get to first. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social media, all of my links are in the description as always. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!